Hello, everyone. We are to take a fascinating journey through the pages of a book that's been making waves, especially in the political circles of Canada and beyond. The book is Trump and Trudeau by Ezra Levant, and it's a compelling exploration of the clash between two of the most talked-about leaders of our time, Donald Trump and Justin Trudeau. Let's start with the dramatic opening of the book, which declares, "The Justin Trudeau era lasted precisely 386 days." That's right. From the moment Trudeau was elected Prime Minister of Canada on October 19, 2015, to the seismic shift that occurred on November 8, 2016, when Donald Trump won the U.S. presidency. Trudeau, young, charismatic, and promising a new liberal dawn, seemed poised to lead Canada into a golden age. But as Levant points out, Trudeau's victory was not the landslide it appeared to be. He won with just 39% of the popular vote, buoyed by a coalition of social justice warriors, environmentalists, and various interest groups. The media was enamored, painting him as the heir to his father's legacy, Pierre Trudeau, who had served as Prime Minister for 16 years. But the world had other plans. Trump's victory was a shock to the system, not just in the U.S., but globally. For Trudeau, it marked the end of his honeymoon period almost before it began. Suddenly, the world was a different place, and Trudeau's liberal globalist vision was at odds with the nationalist America First approach of the new U.S. president. Levant paints a picture of Trudeau and his team as being deeply opposed to Trump, almost to the point of obsession. Trudeau's Liberal Party used Trump as a fundraising tool, demonizing him in emails to supporters. Trudeau himself couldn't resist taking jabs at Trump, even making campaign-style visits to New York to criticize Trump's platform. This anti-Trump stance was not just political posturing. It was deeply personal. Trudeau's advisers, including his brother Alexandre, shared his disdain for Trump, and this sentiment was reflected in their actions and public statements. The book delves into how Trump's victory changed everything for Canada. Trudeau was faced with a choice: align with Trump's policies or position himself as the leader of the opposition. Levant argues that Trudeau chose the latter, often at the expense of Canadian interests. For example, Trudeau's decision to lift the visa requirement for Mexicans just weeks before Trump's election was seen as a provocative move, potentially opening the door to a wave of illegal immigration. Similarly, Trudeau's approach to Cuba and his praise for China's communist regime were seen as attempts to distance Canada from Trump's America. Levant contrasts Trudeau's foreign policy with Trump's America First approach. Trudeau's globalist vision, with its emphasis on symbolism and international cooperation, often clashed with Trump's focus on national sovereignty and interests. Trudeau's admiration for China's dictatorship, his support for Iran, and his criticism of Israel were all at odds with Trump's policies. Levant suggests that Trudeau's approach was more about virtue signaling than about advancing Canadian interests. One of the most significant areas of conflict between Trudeau and Trump is energy policy. Trudeau, influenced by his advisor Gerald Butts, has pursued a policy of phasing out Canada's oil and gas industry, imposing carbon taxes and blocking pipeline projects. In contrast, Trump has championed fossil fuels, rolling back regulations and promoting energy independence. Levant argues that Trudeau's policies are economically damaging, especially when the U.S. is experiencing an energy boom. He suggests that Trudeau's approach could leave Canada at a competitive disadvantage, as American companies take advantage of cheaper energy and Canadian jobs and investments move south. Levant also explores Trudeau's approach to immigration and security, contrasting it with Trump's more hardline stance. Trudeau's open-door policy towards Syrian refugees, his reluctance to use the term terrorism when discussing attacks by Muslim extremists, and his criticism of Trump's proposed Muslim ban are all examined. Levant argues that Trudeau's policies are naive and potentially dangerous, especially in the face of growing security threats. Finally, the book highlights the stark contrast in personal style between Trudeau and Trump. Trudeau, the former drama teacher and snowboarder, is portrayed as a man of style and charm, but lacking in substance. Trump, the brash billionaire and reality TV star, is depicted as a man of action, albeit with a penchant for controversy. Levant suggests that Trudeau's attempts to lecture and shame Trump are likely to backfire, as Trump's supporters see him as a champion of their values. In conclusion, Trumping Trudeau is a provocative and insightful look at the clash between two very different leaders. Levant argues that Trudeau's liberal globalist vision is increasingly out of step with the nationalist America First approach of Donald Trump. As Trudeau navigates the challenges of this new reality, Levant suggests that he must adapt or risk being left behind. The Justin Trudeau era may have ended, but the story of Trudeau and Trump is still unfolding, and it promises to be a fascinating one. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the BrightLearn podcast. If you enjoyed this discussion, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. And don't forget to check out Ezra Levant's book, Trumping Trudeau, for a deeper dive into this compelling topic. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.
Visit brightlearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.